After what feels like a million years, I finally managed to clean off my desk and my dresser. Are you proud of me? Look, we can see, you can see me in my nightie. Hi. You can see the dresser, and you can also see like my desk. Wow, it's clean. Shocking. Okay, so I got 2 romance books. I'm feeling they're dark romance. It's Butcher and Blackbird by Byrnne Weaver and Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I'm not sure which one I want to pick up first. I also have 2 other ones that I got at Barnes & Noble, but I don't feel like going to look for them. But the weirdest thing is, when I was at Target, why were there like 2 10-year-old girls standing in front of all the dark romance books and going, "Oh my god, I've been wanting to read this one. You're 10. Go home. Where's your mom?" Hi, Mama. I'm starting Butcher and Blackbird because why not? I don't know. I just really have the urge to read this book, so we're gonna test it out. Let's see how it goes. Oh, there's a trigger warning. T. There's a playlist? What? Oh. I feel like it would be remiss if I didn't read you the trigger warning. Some of my favorite ones include amateur surgery, skin ornaments, which I did in fact have to Google, accidental cannibalism, followed by not so accidental cannibalism, the questionable use of a mummified corpse. I'm scared. A lobotomized manservant, ill-advised use of kitchen implements. Now, I'm scared of how these implements are going to be used. I'm in for it, aren't I? Oh god, there's more. Oh, parental loss. It's a book about serial killers, so there's some generally messed up murder and chaos. Okay, fair enough. For those of you who read the trigger warnings and said accidental cannibalism, count me in. This one's for you. To be fair, this is described as a dark romantic comedy full of murder, chaos, and sizzling chemistry. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. I feel like I should be concerned because the first sentence in this book is, being a serial killer who kills serial killers is a great hobby. Am I really in for it right now? Chat, did I find the accidental cannibalism on page, what is this, 114? It's too early in the morning for this. I will admit this was a really good fun time. Well, not a good fun time, a good bad time. It was entertaining, except, you know what, I'll talk about it later. Hey, look at this. I love New York City! It's a blizzard! Get the bot! Okay, pardon the mess. I have a lot going on. I have a job interview tomorrow, lots of stuff going on, and not enough time. But I did want to come with a reading update because I finished the entire Ruinous Love trilogy, which I'm very proud of myself because I feel like I haven't finished a full series in a long time. But I have motivations this time. So let me tell you about my motivations first, okay? So I'm on Bookstagram. I'm on pretty much all book social media because I like talking about books, clearly. Clearly, right? But my friend Kat is hosting a summer TBR challenge where you essentially try to read as many books off your TBR as you can over the 104 days of summer vacation. Right, so there's 104 days of summer vacation. If you got the earworm, congrats. Right, so have 104 days to read as many books as you can. My friend Kat has a beautiful, sexy spreadsheet. I don't do spreadsheets, but I do journal. So I set it up in my journal and so I want to tell you some of my stats. So I have 34 books to read by August 24th. Now, I don't think I'm going to make that number. I'm going to be completely honest. Probably not making that number, but that's a total number of 14,615 pages, which is about 143 pages per day, which is totally doable. But I've already fallen behind because I was hanging out with my best friend over the weekend, and yeah. So this started, I think, at the beginning of May, second week of May. It's currently May 22nd when I'm filming this, and I only have one book marked off. So I have one book marked off, which is the final book in the Ruinous Love trilogy, which brings us back to finishing an entire series for the first time in like 7 million years. Okay, but let's talk, because the last time that I was filming, I was talking about the absolutely insane trigger warnings on Butcher and Blackbird. I will say I have not read a dark romance in a long time, because the last 2 dark romances I read were absolutely garbage, and I'm not afraid to say that. I read Den of Vipers and I read Haunting Adeline, and they were both trash, and I will say that with my full chest. Haunting Adeline had rape in it, and then I saw people trying to justify the rape, and that was my final straw. So I've pretty much severed ties with that, and that was really uncomfortable. And I saw some really, really uncomfortable, nasty things on TikTok surrounding that book, and the way people talked about that scene. Books are supposed to make you uncomfortable, but I don't think that's okay. That's not the kind of uncomfortable we're talking about. Anyway, I heard about this through another booktuber, Kat Caras, I don't know. She's from Belize, so I don't want to pronounce it in Spanish. I don't think I'd pronounce it properly. But she read, I believe it's the first book. Yeah, she read Butcher and Blackbird, and she said it was fun, which is a good bad time. So I was like, I want to read it. The first time I'd heard of it. So I picked it up, and I was obviously like really shocked. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen that trigger warning for a while. But I actually really ended up enjoying this because there's a bit more plot to it than some of the other dark romance books. There's a lot more plot in this than I thought. It's not just aimless spice, and I do think I like the way the author is kind of aware of the genre. It's almost as if it's almost as if the characters know what genre they're in. You know how we always say like, oh, books, like the characters don't know what genre they're in. I feel like these kind of do. I really like it. The author is very aware of the genre she's in. It was fun. It was just a fun time. This was a fun time. I also really like the way that the author weaves in some much tougher topics like abuse and how these characters end up becoming serial killers. So yeah, they're serial killers who hunt other serial killers. If you want some moral ground to stand on, right? So this was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. I will say the cannibalism part made me horribly nauseous. I almost threw up. No, actually the last book that almost made me throw up was Sunrise on the Reaping. So this is the second time that I've almost thrown up quite recently because of a book. But it was very fun. I really liked following these 2 characters. Now the male main character does have brothers, so obviously it takes you to the second book, which is Leather and Lark, which follows the female main character Sloane's best friend and Rowan's brother. So okay, fun. Trigger warnings were also present. Not as questionable, I feel like, as the first book, or not as surprising. Maybe because I was already kind of expecting it, this was not as surprising. Now this was fun, but it was not as good as this one. I don't know, the author really hit it out the ballpark with this one. This one's a lot of fun. She did a great job. This one was fun, but not as much. There was just something about this one that I feel like something was missing. I still gave it 4 stars because it was really good, and I like Lachlan a lot, and I like Lark, and her and Sloane, very fun. It was interesting. I liked it. I do feel like the end was a tiny bit rushed though. Like, we spend a lot of time building up, and then we've got like 40 pages left and things are going tits up. So that was kind of my only caveat with this one. I feel like the pacing was a little bit off with this one, whereas it was much better with this one. It made more sense. The pacing for this one felt a bit rushed. And then obviously that takes us to the final book, where we follow the last brother, Fionn, and Rose, the girl that he picked up. Sorry, that sounds wrong. I don't want to give any spoilers, but this is the book where I feel like this one suffers from what I like to call third book syndrome. You know, when you read a series and the first book is like really, really great, you're like, wow, that was great. And then the second book, you're like, that was really good, I liked that. And then you read the third book and you're kind of like disappointed. That's how I feel about this. I didn't care enough. Maybe it's because it felt a bit more detached. Like Sloane and Lark are best friends. Their story kind of intertwines, right? Like that's how we end up in this situation, right? Is because they're friends, they have very similar things going on, they're tied together by their past. With this one, the only tie to the main story is obviously you've gotten to meet Fionn and Rose before in Leather and Lark and in Butcher and Blackbird, but they're a bit more far removed, and the plot felt a bit more far removed from the other two books. Like, he didn't need a third brother. I'm sorry, he didn't need a third brother. I did not enjoy this one as much. I was a little bored, and I kept kind of rushing through some parts because I was eager to be done with it. I just did not enjoy this one as much. I think some people would definitely enjoy it. I unfortunately am not, because what happens is that it feels like a lot of recap, because Fionn and Rose have all their stuff going on while everyone else has their stuff going on. So you're kind of getting a little bit of a repeat of what was happening in the first two books, and I was bored. I was waiting for something else, especially it's called Scythe and Sparrow, and I know that Fionn's a doctor, but I don't know, I thought maybe he was some kind of quack doctor. I don't know. He's battling his demons, and the demons are the consequences of his own actions. Kind of. Sorry, I'm making a joke, but I don't know. This one just didn't hit quite as well as the other ones. I really didn't care. I do like Rose as a character, and Fionn I think could be really compelling, but I just didn't care enough to be like, wow. So I gave this 3.5 stars. The other two books I gave 4 stars, but this one's not my favorite. Don't hate me though. I still think the series is a lot of fun. Like that I will say. I'm not going to take that away. I think this series is a lot of fun, and I will be keeping it because it was great. But I really love Butcher and Blackbird. Like, this was great. It was fun. I liked the premise, especially. Like, it was very different from anything I've read in a long time. So I was quite pleased. The covers are also quite cute. I don't know what happened here. This one's like that buttery texture. The other ones are not. But yeah. So that was that. Unfortunately, we have third book syndrome going on here, but overall, I think I would give the series 4 stars. Like as a whole, 4 stars. I think it was fun. It was a fun read. It was a fun dark romance. Nothing too crazy. Like the sex itself was pretty normal. It's everything else that's going on that's dark, which is fine. So yeah, I liked this, but I think I've had enough of that for a hot minute. I don't think I want to read any more dark romance for a little bit. I need to take a break, a little palate cleanser. And I should probably go back to the 2 books I was reading like 3 vlogs ago, which is The Atlas 6 and Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. But I'm not ready to go back to those yet. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up The Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. This is a really short book. It's only 144 pages. And I don't know, I feel like it could be a really good palette cleanser. I want something kind of dark and gothic, but not this kind of dark. You know what I mean? Like this kind of dark, the gothic kind. And I don't remember what this is about. I just know that it's very short. So let's read it together. Let's remind ourselves, shall we? This has 5 night shift workers, an ancient cemetery, an open grave. Every night in the college's ancient cemetery, 5 people cross paths as they work the late shift. A bartender, a rideshare driver, a hotel receptionist, the unofficial steward of the Durelsit church that looms over them, and the editor-in-chief of the college paper, always in search of a story. One dark October evening in the defunct churchyard, they find a hole that wasn't there before, a fresh open grave where no grave should be, but who dug it and for whom? Atmospheric and eerie with the ensemble cast her fans love and a delightfully familiar academic backdrop, Graveyard Shift is a modern gothic tale in the If We Were Villains author M.L. Rio's imitatable style. Clearly I need to work on my skills, my oratory skills, and my reading out loud. But yeah, so this is pretty short, and I do have some other books by Emma Reel that I want to read, If We Were Villains. I just kind of want something a bit like this. I want to move away from the romance for a bit and focus on something else. I don't know. I might also pop back into the Atlas 6 and Capturing the Devil. We'll see. This is pretty short, but I have so many books on my TBR that I want to read. Like, I really want to make a dent in my summer TBR. Where is it? I tried to do a really cute page for Butcher and Blackbird to write a review, but I accidentally did it upside down. Lovely, isn't that? Anyway, I don't know if the Atlas 6 is in here. No, I didn't put it in here. I could add it. I know, I don't think it counts. We'll see. But anyway, probably going to dive into this, but I do have a job interview tomorrow, so I have some prepping I need to do. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, that's my reading update for you guys for now. Thank you, New York City. If you've read this series, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of all 3 books, which one's your favorite. Let me know what you think about the last book. Am I the only one that kind of didn't care about Fionn and Rose? I feel kind of bad, but I'm like, he didn't need a third brother. You could have left off here and the plot would have made sense. Because there was this guy that was like hunting them down, and that gets wrapped up in the second book. Or am I bugging? No, I'm pretty sure like the overarching plot thing gets wrapped up in these 2 books. We didn't need this one. He didn't need a third brother.